The earth is round, isn't it? That's what we are taught in geography classes, that the earth is round. But the earth around our house is flat. So is the earth round or is the earth flat? Right? Both of these are as true as they are said to be true. The sun rises in the east in the morning and the sun sets in the west in the evening. Right? That's what we teach in primary school. But does the sun rise and set, or does the earth rise and set? The sun is neither rising nor setting. It is the earth which is rotating and revolving around the sun, which is rising and setting. And hence, is seeing believing, or is there something beyond what we apparently see, which is the real truth? We always base all our assumptions on what we see, on what we perceive, because the senses are considered to be the most powerful instruments that God has given us. And that's why in Sanskrit, senses are also called matraha, means measurement, instruments for measurement. So what are they helping us measure? By seeing, by listening, by smelling, by eating, by touching. They are helping us measure whatever we see and perceive in this tangible world. But how effective are these instruments? Is the question we have to ask ourselves. When the instruments are normal, the experience is normal. When the instruments are faulty, the experience is faulty. The same sweet will taste bitter when we have having the quinine medicine in the midst of a bout of malaria, at least in India when it was very prevalent. The same food will taste without any taste, tasteless, when we are having fever. So the instruments which we are using and depending on to understand the truth are themselves not sufficient. Body is a limited company. Why is a limited company? Because it has its own limitations. The body temperature has to be 98.4 Fahrenheit. If it goes up, fever starts. If it goes below, some problem with the system. The blood pressure has to be exactly 120/80. If it rises, high blood pressure. If it reduces, low blood pressure. Every aspect of this body is limited. Right? But there are animals who are much better than human beings in perceiving things because they have a different spectrum on which they operate. A dog will be howling while we are enjoying ourselves because the dog is able to see what we are not able to see. It is able to perceive sounds which are kilometers away when we cannot even imagine that there is something coming in. We have birds which start flying and frittering away minutes before a natural disaster is going to strike. The entire spectrum on which these animals operate is very different. But human beings operate on a different spectrum. So what is the real truth that we are talking about? We always feel truth is, speak the truth. First is to understand what this truth is. And that is possible when we do this kind of an analysis for ourselves. That science describes truths based on experiments, which are again having their own set of assumptions. Spirituality explains truths based on experience. And this experience is not limited to what we perceive. Why do we say that the scriptures are supreme and the message of the scriptures is the highest? Is because the sages of the yore, through their meditation and sadhana, moved from their mind to the higher mind, from the higher mind to the supermind, from the supermind to the illuminated mind, from the illuminated mind to the overmind, and after crossing the overmind, they move to the stage which is called amanaska, mindless stage. At that stage where the mind does not exist, these sages were able to capture the vibrations, the highest cosmic vibrations, And these are the scriptural injunctions which are mentioned in the Vedas. They are not of human origin. They are of divine origin. And hence the truth described in these scriptures is the highest truth. These sages, after this meditation and realizing the truth, said, Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasah Parastat. How is this supreme reality? How is this divinity that we are talking about? And they described, they said, oh, it is so beautiful. It is beyond the shining splendor of 1,000 suns. That is the supreme truth that we are talking about.